Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Everything Bears, where we talk about everything Bears. Interesting show today. Top 30 visits, pro days. Haven't heard a whole lot from the meetings yet, but let's get this thing going.
Everything Bears Show, yo. Bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down, yo. Everything Bears Show, bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down, yo. First down, first down, first down, touchdown. Everything between the walls, hold now. Bow down to the ground, Lake Shore, downtown, sister throne of the north, up high, calm down, find out, intercepted, locked down, found out, knocked out, 9 down, in the state, touchdown, blow. First down, touchdown. Everything between the walls, hold now. Bow down to the ground, Lake Shore, downtown, sister throne of the north, up high, calm down, find out, intercepted, locked down, found out, knocked down, 9 round, in the state, touchdown, blow.
Good morning, Bears fans, and welcome back to the Everything Bears Show, your home for everything Bears. And sorry for the delay. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on as we're expanding and getting all our little bears in a row. But thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And how's everybody doing?
What a beautiful Sunday morning, huh?
Absolutely. As we get
Hey.
just 1 week closer to the draft. We just get 1 week closer. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Um, Boy, a lot of stuff out there right now buzzing around Mr. Poles and where he went, isn't it? That
Yeah.
Alabama visit, everybody had their panties in a bunch. Good morning, Christopher. Welcome. Don't forget, good morning to the Dallas fans also.
Sure.
Oh boy, we're off to a great start already, aren't we?
I mean,
So
it's fair. Good morning, Cowboys fans. Good morning, Seattle fans, Chiefs
yeah.
fans, New Orleans. uh, how's that doing over there?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure it out on the fly.
Uh,
So carry us for a little bit, will
yeah.
you?
So yeah, no doubt, we got a lot of things heating up so far. We got things coming up. We got the owners' meetings this week. We got top 30 visits going down. So we'll be taking a look at some of the names that are, that we'll be seeing. And, just one thing I kind of want to preface just a little bit about the top 30 visits. I don't want Bears fans getting their panties in a bunch when you see they're inviting somebody to Halas Hall that you don't know, or maybe you don't like that player. They use these 30 visits not only to talk to the guys that they want, they bring in guys that they're not unsure of. They're bringing in guys that they want to make sure that maybe his football IQ is good, his mentality, and see if he's a good scheme fit. I mean, so those 30 visits are used in a lot of different ways, not just the guys that you really want. So when you see some names on the list, don't get all crazy, and just know that the Bears are really wanting to know more about the kid, so they bring him in. Big Mike, good morning. Boy, Green Bay loves the Spurs.
Big Mike, welcome. Good morning, sir.
But yeah, let's see. I think top 30 visits. I'll touch a little bit on this. I think we've already had Zion Young already come in, so that's exciting.
Yep, Zion Young has been in there. So, um, do you think maybe a first round pick for Zion?
Sure. I mean, if the visit went well, if he interviewed well, it could be. The last number of shows that we ran, we're kind of talking about that 25th pick that the Bears really could go just about anywhere, really, on the defensive side of the ball, that is. Yeah, it could be Edge, could be Zion, could be Big Mac, Caden McDonald. It could be a safety. Again, but again, if the kid interviews really well, you know, could be.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, you gotta think safety, edge still have to be the top two positions, right? I'm starting to think D tackle, maybe not quite as much. Um, if we're starting to get into the pro day visits, he went to Alabama instead of Ohio State, right? That's right there tells me that they might not be in the Caden McDonald sweepstakes. Even though they're bringing him in for a top 30 visit, they still have to do their homework. But they might be thinking D tackle a little bit later. One of the guys from Oklahoma that we've been sniffing around, Grayson Halton, um, he might be maybe a second or third round D tackle that they go, and they might go
Sure.
edge if they really like Zion at 25.
Right.
He's not going to be there for him at 59 or 57 and 60. I think is where they're at. So
I'm gonna put you up in the middle just for a second here.
yeah, sure. Yeah. So I mean, let's see what ends up happening. So, um, yeah. Uh, I'm curious to see how the rest of these goes. Him going to Arizona State was interesting.
Yeah.
So Genesis Smith might be in play, and we'll get into it in a little bit. We'll break down. I was kind of doing the homework on it on where he visited. We'll start from the top and go down from there. So,
Yeah, that's
so
top of other things too, they do medicals and stuff like that, so they're bringing these guys in if they wanna do medicals, character, background digging, scheme fits, things like that, but, yeah, that was an interesting one where I was like, "What are you going there for?" But that just goes to show you, man, we're in good hands, man. Bears fans, like I'm on Twitter all the time. I hear all the noise. I hear all the concerns. And I hear you, Bears fans. We're in good hands now, okay? You just got to trust and believe. That's it. Just trust and believe. We're in good hands now. They're doing the right thing. They're doing all their due diligence, and they're out there pounding the pavement. That's for sure. Which,
yeah. So we had a failure to launch on one of the channels. Just a heads up.
oh
So
no, okay.
yeah, but that's okay. Well, let's roll with it. So we are just a heads up, guys. We are live now on Facebook. We will be switching that over to the Everything Bears Facebook channel, and then hopefully midweek we will be going live on TikTok as well. So we're expanding our social profile here to get you guys in front and all your lovely comments in front of many, many more viewers. So we'll see what happens from there. So, boy, do you want to start in on the top 30 visits right away, or
Yeah, let's do it.
let's do it. So the most notable one was the Alabama, and we talked about that because that was scheduled the same day as Ohio State. So, with that being said, why would polls go to Alabama versus Ohio State? Ohio State has a lot more prospects in the draft. Alabama's not the traditional Alabama that we're used to. So why would that be? I mean, common sense tells you that Ohio State is in the Midwest, so their scouts have probably been to every single one of their games. Right? They play in the Midwest, they play the Michigans, they play a lot of these bigger schools that they've probably scouted them in actual game versus pro days. So the SEC Southern teams, maybe not as much. Does that provide us a smokescreen to where maybe Caden Proctor could be in the mix, left tackle out of Alabama for the first round? That's the speculation. That was the speculation on Wednesday when we was there. Was it Romy or maybe one of the other guys brought up that they might be looking at him? 100%, it's possible, right? But they also have a couple other guys. They have a D tackle, Overton, Deontay Lawson, a linebacker that they were probably looking at as well. And then they also have a center that would be a mid-round pick as well that they could be looking at. So there is a ton of different reasons why he was there. And it wasn't just him. It was him and King, which is the number 1 and number 2, right? The
Yeah.
assistant GM was there as well. So that's why it garnered so much buzz. And the word on the street is that Poles was the only GM who was at the Alabama Pro Day, which is also interesting.
Yeah. Huh. Then there's somebody there that he really likes and he has his eye on for him to show up personally there.
Whew, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. What's with Ben reaching out to that left tackle from Detroit, personal or professional? I haven't heard this story yet. Geez.
I would think a little of column A and a little of column B.
Right? Just to gauge the old interest there.
Yeah.
Obviously we're talking about Taylor Decker with that. So I don't know. Big Mike, what have you heard?
Yeah, I have not heard this either.
Yeah. It was they just went on a mandate. Okay.
Possibly.
For some reason, I don't think that's based in fact. Okay, here we go. So bringing it up right now. Bears Ben Johnson reaches out to disgruntled Lions player. Chicago Bears head coach Ben Johnson has reached out to disgruntled former Detroit Lions following the player's parting ways with the team. In an interview published on Saturday, March 28th, Justin Rogers of the Detroit Football Network, former Detroit Lions left tackle Taylor Decker, talks about his disturbing experience leaving the team. Ooh. Decker and the Lions cut ties after the 25-26 season, and according to Decker, he felt ghosted by the franchise, especially head coach Dan Campbell and GM Brad Holmes. It's been radio silence. It's uncomfortable. Decker said in an interview with Rogers, it's awkward. Feels like a high school breakup. According to Decker, after he realized that the two parties would have to split, largely because he didn't want to take a pay cut, he talked to Campbell but tried to reach out to Holmes with no response, so he felt rejected. Per Rogers, Decker said it felt a little personal since talking to Campbell on February 23rd. He hasn't heard from leadership. Okay, so he added that after giving everything he had to the franchise for a decade, Decker expected a little bit more. He wanted to hear from his coach and from his GM. In a March 26 Bleacher Report, Gary Davenport says that Deckard has a lot of options for the team's futures, multiple teams in need of help, a tackle, and Decker should have his choice of numerous landing spots. He adds that Decker in 2025 allowed just 2 sacks and 900 snaps. So, yeah, big trouble in the big D there.
I know, trouble in paradise, huh?
Yeah. Honeymoon's over, man. So, and I'm sure Ben Johnson just reached out as a friend to say, hey, man.
Just friends.
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Let's just be friends.
Are you all right? I mean, how's the wife and kids? Are they doing okay?
Yeah.
Doing good? All right.
You know, did I ever tell you that navy blue looks really good on you?
I don't know if you've heard, if you've been keeping up, but we're kind of in the market for one of you.
Hey, we've signed like 4 left tackles as it is, but what's one more?
Well, because you got to exhaust all resources. All right. I don't think that would hurt that one bit, even though we've got 4 under contract right now. You bring in Decker, and it doesn't change that situation one bit. Everybody, you fight. You want the job? Fight.
Mhm.
Even though he'll probably get the job.
Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us, how they found out that Ben Johnson reached out to him or anything else like that. I wanted a little bit more juicy gossip, man.
Like a picture of them at Maggiano's or something.
Yeah, enjoying a family style, bowl of pasta or something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I want proof. I want
Mhm.
evidence. What did you guys go do?
Ben Johnson likes the big D. That's why Ben took him out. I'm sure he hates Dallas. So, oh boy. And Chris has a picture of him. Okay.
Oh no.
They were splitting a piece of cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory. So
I'm actually pretty glad that StreamYard doesn't allow our chat to share pictures.
Right, exactly. So uh,
2 guys, 1 cup.
mhm. Yeah, interesting. So
You better watch it, Christopher. You better watch it. I'm
Yeah.
keeping my eye on you out there in the chat. I'm watching you guys.
All right.
So yeah,
Big trouble with Mr. Deck. Why hasn't he signed yet though? That's the thing I'm wondering about. Like, what happened there?
because he's probably waiting on Dallas. Dallas. Look at thanks, Chris. He's probably waiting on Detroit to like, hey, are you guys going to call me or what? Because I've got other teams courting me right now, and I'm
Mhm.
waiting for you guys to give me a call. And so he's going to entertain, and he's got history with Ben, so they work together. There's rapport there, so it's harmless. They went out to dinner. Ben reached out. It's not a big deal, but there could be
Yeah.
something there. But thanks for the scoop, Big Mike with the scoop. The biggest gossip I had this weekend was Bernie trying to screw me out of my Indiana stadium.
Yeah, did you see that on Twitter? Big Mike sent that on over. So they're trying to pass a bill called like the Home Team Act, where
God.
they would have to basically wait a year for a team to move, I believe. And it's going to vote. And I had commented to Big Mike, I'm like, wouldn't it be sad if the federal government can get this passed through before the Illinois legislature could do anything like that? Like, that would be freaking shameful for what a black eye for Illinois. I mean, it'd be terrible.
Not just that, but I've got to. I wouldn't be the Book of Ezra if I didn't bring up the disdain for more government overreach. Like, enough. This has nothing to get the hell out of here. This has nothing to do with you. Mind your own business, you.
Yeah. Get the out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Jeremy, he's old and he has a bad shoulder. Decker, maybe that's what's taking so long. He's not passing medicals just yet. Could be.
I mean, it sounds like he's going to end up being one of those guys that will get signed after the draft. I think at this point, with the draft being right around the corner, a lot of these free agents that we've talked about, Decker, Cam Jordan,
Yeah,
the list goes on, Bosa, all those guys. I think they're going to be in a holding pattern until teams find out what they did in the draft, and then we'll start seeing some more dominoes start to fall.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
Until then, we're just going to be kind of waiting, seeing what's going on. So,
because after the draft, and then you get to take a look again at your view of your roster, you go, we need to fill this yet. We have to fill this. We have to fill that. And that's when that last batch of free agents gets scooped up to fill all those little holes. Yeah. Patchwork, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Pritz wants to save on taxes at the new stadium. Only wants one bathroom there. Yeah.
The Prince of Porcelain, right? Is that so?
That's about right.
Mm.
That's about right. But all right. So before we got sidetracked there, 30 visits. Zion Young. He was in. That's exciting stuff. I don't know who we have next.
So
coming
Katie
in.
McDonald is supposed to come in on April 1st.
April
We're
1st.
all
There you go.
pretty well versed on who Katie McDonald is. We've mocked him to the Bears only like 1,000 times with most. But what was it last year? I don't think that they drafted any of their top 30 visit players. I believe I remember hearing that. So we also have Max Ionaker, who is a right tackle from Arizona State, which is an interesting one. Like, why are we looking at right tackles? I don't know. So after we go through the top 30, we'll go through some of the other schools that Polls has visited, and we'll see how many of those kind of match up, but we'll see, right?
Connecting some dots here.
Yeah,
Connect some dots.
So I was trying to do the homework last night to see if there's like any position overlay or anything. Not a whole lot. So, the smoke screen is in full effect here. Arizona State was one of the pro days that he went to. So there's a couple other players that I don't see on this list that we'll touch on after we get done with the list here, and go from there. So we haven't really done any homework on Max, just due to the fact that he's a right tackle. But, he's coming in for a top 30 visit. Is that a depth piece? Is it we're going to pivot off of Darnell Wright and not sign him? I mean, if you want to get really crazy, right? But why would you do that? But
I'm going to go with the depth.
Yeah. I would hope so. Darnell Wright was what? Top 4 tackle in the league last year. So
second team all pro.
Yeah, he's probably looking at about 20 to 25 million a year coming his way over the next several. So
yeah.
Deshaun Stribling, a wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Tall target being scouted to bolster the receiving core. He came in for a top 30.
Good.
So if we want,
I like Jeremy's comment here. Bears don't sign any of their 30 visits. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It's all cloak and dagger.
Poles playing Chinese checkers, right? So let me bring up. Let's do this. Let's go to the big board. And I'm going to share the screen real quick here. So as we're jumping back and forth, let's take a look and see what some of these things are saying about him here. So let's see here. So we're going to look at Deshaun Stribling.
And yeah, Big Mike is right. Remember that game? I think it was the season before last. He had a bum arm. So he took on Max Crosby, one arm, and shut him down. That was a hell of a game by him, that game.
All right. So Deshaun Stribling, 6'2", 207, ran a 4.36.
Damn.
Projecting around 170. So what is that? 4th round?
Yeah.
Roughly 5th round.
And we kind of need to bring in drafting a wide receiver wouldn't be a bad idea since, with the loss of DJ and everybody in the wide receiver room kind of getting a little promotion because of that move. This kid could be definitely a guy to look at.
Yeah, so some of the strengths: long striding vertical threat, eating up cushion quickly, strong contested catchability, effective 3-level route runner, can beat press man, strong ball tracking, good spatial awareness. Let's see, CFP big game production with 199 combined yards against Georgia and Miami. He's got size and athleticism fitting the prototypical NFL outside X receiver template. Weaknesses: short area quickness, lacks first step explosiveness, build up speed profile rather than instantaneous acceleration. Limited release package, secondary production role as Old Miss's second leading receiver, not primary, and wide evaluator consensus gap ranging from 71st to 267th. So basically, what they're saying is they have no idea where the hell this guy's going to be taken. And so, and that is Mr. Stribling in a nutshell. So,
Nice.
like Jeremy was saying, wide receiver's pretty deep. So you could find some late round wide receiver depth and still be okay there for sure. So, yeah. So moving on, next top 30 visit we have here is Mikhail Kamara, a defensive end out of Indiana. All right. We haven't done a whole lot of homework on him. He hasn't popped up in a lot of mocks. So let's take a quick look. Mikhail Kamara. 6'1", 265. Ranking somewhere in that 200, so mid-rounds again. If we're projecting that out. Elite production in Big Ten with 9.5 sacks. Technically polished rusher who wins with hands. Was dominant at James Madison. Yeah. He doesn't really sound like the typical DA mold at 6'1", 265.
Yeah.
He's kind of a little bit shorter guy. As a matter of fact, one of the weaknesses severely undersized at 6'1", 265 for edge, which at that point, what they usually do, put him on, it's like an outside linebacker. Most realistic projection, 3-4 outside linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So another mid-round guy that they might be looking at, doing their homework. That one feels kind of, smoke and mirror a little bit there. So, and then Jaeger Burton, potential center candidate out of Kentucky. So I've seen his name popping up in a few of the mocks. So just started doing some of the homework on him. But that's just the same type of thing. It's going to be somebody that they can look at in the mid rounds just in case their top choices are gone. He's the center out of Kentucky. I mean, with all these centers and stuff, I definitely think that they're going to be adding a center to the roster, whether it's a depth piece or what. I don't think that they're going to go rookie center high and then have them start. So
Big Mike. You're Big Mike. Come on. You don't have to go through such lengths.
Yeah. I mean, come on. They have a surgery for that.
Oh.
So he's another projected mid-round guy. Good in the zone running scheme. Excels playing in space. Maintains low position. Effective zone blocker, which is the offense that the Bears run. So they like those lighter, more agile guys. People who can get out, scoop an end, or whatever the case may be. And he could be a depth piece both at center and guard. So a little bit of versatility there.
Sure. We could always use that.
Yeah. I mean, I know we re-signed McFadden. But yeah, so it seems like a lot of their top 30 visits, they're trying to figure out who's going to be available in the mid rounds. So it sounds like the plan in the beginning is pretty much set. We looked at Seth McGowan before. He's another person who went in for a top 30 visit. He's the running back out of Kentucky. Boy, we've mocked him a couple times, I think, at least once for sure.
Yeah.
And I think we were looking at him in the fourth when we were mocking him. So he looks familiar. He's
Yes, his
averaging about
highlights are pretty good.
173.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's 215 pounds, 6 foot, ran a 4.49. Not, the fastest guy in the world, but he's also an older back. It looks like he's 26.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
26-year-old rookie, yeah.
No.
Had off-field concerns released from Oklahoma.
Oh,
Ooh.
no.
I haven't done enough homework on him, so it sounds like he's got a few red flags, maybe. But
26-year-old running back. Oof.
yeah.
Special teams.
Prototypical size 215 between the tackles runner, clean Senior Bowl team drills with 0 negative grades, so that's good. 26-year-old in college. Have you guys been keeping up on this story with this quarterback from Ole Miss as well?
No.
That dude's 26 and he wants to get another year of eligibility. So by the time he comes out, he's going to be, what was that
30.
one kid's name? Yeah.
He's going to be 30 years old.
Winky? Hinky?
Oh.
Chris
yeah.
Winky, I think, from Florida State. When he came out, he's like 27. Could have been teaching in college.
Seriously. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
So he's got the NFL comparison of Pacheco and Damian Harris. Okay.
I don't see it. I'm watching his highlights reel right now. I don't see Pacheco here.
No, not quite as violent of a runner.
No.
Okay.
No, you know who he actually looks like, and I hate to comp him to this guy, but watching him run, he looks like Roshan Johnson.
So like he's running in mud?
Yeah. Yeah. Like he falls forward, which is great, but it looks like he's running in mud. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Just Roshan, for as tall of a guy that he is, you like hope he'd be a strider, but man, he wasn't. Short, choppy steps.
Yep. Big Mike.
Back in Mike's day, we called those night classes, not college. All right. Moving on, top 30 visits. After Seth McGowan, Brian Parker II, another center out of Duke.
Another center. All right.
We looked at him as well, and I think he was sitting there when we were looking at centers. Boy, I want to say it might have been one of those where we traded down, and I remember seeing his name on the board. But he's consistently mocking around that 105, 110 range.
Really?
So that's third round. Yeah. He went to Duke, so he's got to be somewhat smart, right? Rare quickness and burst and agility, accurate tight hand placement, aggressive and physical at the point of attack, skilled efficient zone run blocker, which should be a reoccurring theme. Again, another position versatility guy. Both tackle spots, across both tackle spots, projecting inside. Latches, releverages. He was an All-American. And had high-level college production. Weakness, sawed-off frame with below-average arm length. I don't think arm length matters as much at center when you're playing inside like that.
Yeah, you're not really reaching too far.
Yeah.
When you're right smack dab in the middle of that chaos. Okay.
So, yeah, let's see who else we have. A tight end out of Syracuse, Dan Villari. Not familiar with him at all. We haven't really seen him, but let's take a look.
That's Mike Washington. Sneaky good.
Yeah, would be a steal in the second round. Mike Washington, running back out of Arkansas, correct?
Bingo.
Yeah. So
Dan
I have
Delari,
that
tight
as
end.
well.
Tight end's another one of those positions that I think we'll be in the market. It's not a pressing matter, but absolutely in the market for a tight end.
Yeah. I have a feeling when I scroll down, one of these strengths will be blocking.
There you go.
So, no, he doesn't have a workup because he's projected late rounds. So, 295. So, yeah, he's projected to be maybe a seventh rounder, right? If that's about 30. Yeah. So, that might be a late round pick that they're looking at. So, not a whole lot on him. And then Antonio Thompson, a D tackle out of Washington.
Okay, let's see.
Well, you look up the highlights here. Who got? Okay.
Danterio?
Yeah. I got Anterio on Google.
What's his last name?
Thompson. Dude, I don't even see this guy on this big board. So
Dang.
are we thinking undrafted free agent here?
Yeah, there ain't much here. So I found a short.
Thompson.
Yeah. Short at his pro day.
Okay. Yeah, dude. He's not even on this board, so he's got to be down there a bit.
He's a deep cut.
Yeah. He's a UDFA. Yeah. So
he's a bulky guy. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's a grown ass man. That's a grown ass man right there. I wonder. I could probably share a little bit. It's a short. So let's see. All right. Here's this workout day. Look how thick he is. Boy, thick. But yeah, he looks like he's big. That's a big dude. But nothing super fancy. He ain't, blowing none of our minds or anything like that, but
no.
He's jogging around shit. Just look at his size, though. Look at him.
Not a whole lot of ups right there.
No. If he's a DT, we ain't got to worry about no ups.
Yeah. Pick him up and put him down, son. Okay. And then the last person on the visit so far, just counting real quick how many they had in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have about a third of them. Brashard Smith. So running back out of SMU. I don't think we've looked at him at all.
Brashard Smith?
Yeah.
The Chiefs drafted him.
Okay, so that must have been from a year before. Might be why we can't find Antonio Thompson either. Google, you be lying, man.
Google be bullshitting.
I'm like, I haven't heard of any of these guys. That'd be why. Let's see. Jimmy Rolder, linebacker out of Michigan. supposedly might be coming in for a visit. Has not been confirmed. So, yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
Michigan guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Linebacker. I don't know, man. We're stout at linebacker.
Maybe.
Sure.
What happens if they trade TJ Edwards?
Oh, then we ain't good at linebacker. Then
Yeah.
we might need one.
So it also says that they're reportedly eyeing several other top prospects, such as Proctor, which we talked about, Jermon McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. But they've also been linked to visits through pro days. So, though I do not have Tennessee on Ryan Poles' list of
Dang.
visits. So, all right. So that's everybody so far that have been confirmed. So we'll see. I'll just double check in my other list here, see if there's anybody who was on there that we left off. Talked about Ian Aker, Zion Young, Katie McDonald, Jimmy Rolder. So supposedly they did bring him in already. Deshaun Stribling, Jaeger Burton, Seth McGowan, Brian Parker, who we've all yeah, see this one, yeah, has Thompson as well. He's not ranked on the big board. That's why we couldn't find him. So that might be one of those UDFA guys that Poles is notoriously famous for bringing in. Or, you might go Ruben Hippolyte on him and draft him in the 4th. I don't know.
Hippolyte should be back this season, though, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I think at this point, if he's going to make this roster, I think he's got to make it on special teams. So we'll see how that works out.
Looks like the Bears website has their roster up to date. I'm looking at the Bears roster on the Bears website. They got Bradbury. They got Bradbury there. Kobe Bryant's listed. So we got some people on here.
So they're starting to get a little bit more. Yeah.
I mean, there's people on here because sometimes the two Adams, Hogan Johns, will play. They'll play a game called "Are They a Bear or Are They Not a Bear?" And they'll give you a name, and you guess whether they're a bear or not. Dante Manning, DB. He is a bear. He is a bear. He's a bear. Gervarius Owens, DB. Bear. So, we got some DBs on the roster. I didn't even know we're Bears.
Right. There was a few of those when I was looking at them last week. I was like, what? I don't remember this guy. Jonathan Garvin. Yeah. They must have been practice squad guys.
Yeah.
Or future contracts or whatever.
Yeah. Jimry Chroma.
Yeah, I was just looking at him too. Who?
Jeremiah Martin.
Yeah. Who are you?
Who are these guys?
Contavious Street is somebody we just signed.
Yeah. I wish they broke it down into positions so we could show the screen and just look at position by position, but they just have them in here they do have them in groups, yeah?
Yeah, you could search it by or organize it by positions.
So we only have one center?
Technically.
Damn.
I mean, I'm assuming they have Newman listed as an O lineman or just an O lineman. Yeah. So if you play guard or tackle, but are you going to share the screen? You got it up? I mean, look at
Yeah,
all the old linemen we have.
I look at all the tight ends we got too. Yeah, let me put this
Eh.
up so the boys can see. Here we go.
So we'll start breaking down the roster.
I'm gonna zoom in so we can really. There we go. Now you can see the guys. And we'll just start right at the top.
Yeah.
Top of the list. Okay, so we've got one center, boys. We got one center on the roster right now. So maybe this is why we're 30 visiting a lot of centers.
Like Big Mike said, a lot of guys worth forgetting over the next few years.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say in the draft we're gonna draft a center. That's happening. That's gonna happen. So next down the list, not too much to talk about there, Bradbury. Again, we're gonna find out who he is when he's in the navy and orange.
So let me just throw a quick comment on Mr. Old Bradbury.
All right.
So while doing homework, I was watching a video that talked about all the free agents that were signed in this past off season.
All right.
If you had to guess out of all the positions that were signed, all the people in all the positions, what position had the highest average yearly salary in there for all the free agents?
It would a clue be that we're talking about the position right now?
It would be a very big clue right now.
Because like my brain automatically went like edge rusher.
Right. Wide receiver, right?
Yeah, right. No.
Center.
Really?
Had the highest average yearly. Now, granted, it got skewed by Tyler Linderbaum.
You beat me to it. I was going to say,
right?
Well, they just broke this motherfucker off like he was a quarterback or some kind of wide receiver or something. So he did make that number shoot.
Yeah, but you look at like Biotic that the Bears were looking at. He signed for $10 million. Another guy just under 8, right? And you got Garrett Bradbury at 5.5. So if you're wondering why we traded for a center versus signing one in free agency, that is why. You saved yourself $4 to $6 million a year. And if you were in the Linderbaum sweepstakes, you saved yourself $20 million a year.
Nice.
So I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Offensive center, the highest average salary? But if you have that one outlier, that's how it could get skewed. But
all right.
That's why we're going to look at one in the draft as well, I'm sure.
So. Yep. A rookie deal, rookie contract. Now, our DB room, our cornerback room here, we have got a gang of dudes in the DB room. So we'll just start at the top here. So this is corners and safeties. So this will be a little varying. But Josh Blackwell, that was a good thing we kept him around.
Yeah. Special teams demon, right?
Special teams demon, yes. Kobe Bryant, Dallas Flowers. There's Zoff Frazier. We'll see if we can see what he's got. Definitely interested. Kyler Gordon, of course. Elijah Hicks sticks around. Old JJ. The other JJ, Jalen Jones. Cam Lewis, never heard of you, but let's see what you got. Dante Manning. Jervarius Owens. Terrell Smith, man. I am hoping that he stays healthy because, again, the year he had prior, the dude's got skills. So he seems like a real baller. And then, of course, we got our boy Tyreek, who's on a contract year, who's also going to show us some things this year, I hope. That is a lot of corners and DBs, just DBs in general.
So as a group, what's your initial opinion of those guys, though?
Oh, it's not strong. Mid.
Mhm.
I mean, because
Yeah.
we've got our names, we've got our Jalen Johnson, but again, the showing we got from and he was hurt, so I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Kyler Gordon also hurt, but I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. We should have some two bona fide studs, right? Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant, a bona fide stud.
Hmm.
But for the rest of it, the drop off is steep and severe. The drop off,
Yeah.
uh, minus Tyreek and Terrell Smith. Um, these two are like little wild cards a little bit. Don't know what you're going to get. We know what they can be, but whether we're going to see it or not, but that's it. Then the drop off is just bam.
Yeah. If Terrell Smith and Tyreek can play significant snaps, the secondary I think is okay. I think it's better than average. If those guys are still banged up or they don't look like, what they were last year, Cam Lewis, I can't speak enough about him right now, just seeing his previous highlights, but he seems like a rotational player. Jalen Johnson needs to come back to what he was. If he's there, that helps the secondary a ton. Like you were saying, Za Frazier, wild card. What is he gonna be?
Yeah.
Right? If he can be a rotational guy, um, who knows? But I think we have to go into the season thinking this guy's not going to contribute at all. I mean, he could come out there and just completely suck. We don't
And
know.
completely suck. Yep.
Yeah. Kyler Gordon, can he stay healthy? Right? If you had to guess between, let's say, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, do you see any of those guys possibly getting rotation at safety?
Yeah, I can. This
So,
guy.
yeah. He's got like the safety build, man. Like that would be interesting if they move him there.
It would be.
Because I don't know what he did, but he did something to get put in the doghouse.
You're right. There's
Because he
something.
was non-existent even um when we had the injuries at the end there. He still wasn't getting playing time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I rewatched that the Packers playoff game, and when Jordan Love was scrambling right, he's just half-assing it to push him out of bounds. And I'm like, dude, this is a playoff game. So I don't know if like that type of effort has gotten him in the doghouse or what, but with the contract year coming up, man, we'll see. I don't know based off of last year if we're gonna see him on the Bears beyond this next
At
season.
all, right.
Yeah.
Will he be a bear anymore, even?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Terrell's. Yep. And it sucks too because, like, again, despite the Hail Mary debacle,
Mhm.
like I like the kid.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
willing tackler. He comes up and supports the run. He
yep,
seems like he brings a little bit of juice
he
to the
does.
defense.
He's a shit talker.
Yeah. I mean, now that Brisker's gone, somebody's got to carry the mantle.
Yeah. He'd be costing us penalties and shit. But like from that whole incident, because he would get flagged on some extracurricular activities after the whistle, and also the Hail Mary thing that he, jeez Louise, I don't want to relive that. Anyways, like I don't know what kind of a talking to he got. He probably did from Kevin Byard and whomever else. He's matured a lot. Again, that interview on Intercepted, that podcast Kevin Byard had with us, that was a very good interview, and the kids seem to have matured a lot. Even Kevin was asking him about, yeah, now you're sitting on the bench all game, and like, how are you handling all that? And he just says, I'm staying ready. I'm staying fit, taking care of my body. I'm gonna keep my head in the game so that when it's my turn, I can come in and do what I need to do. And he just, gave the whole he's a team guy now message. And I'm like, that's excellent, man. That's really good that you matured and are growing up. But I'm definitely interested to see it because again, contract year, NFL athletes, we've seen it over the decades,
Mhm.
all across the league, not just with the Bears. contract years, these guys all of a sudden are all pros. Okay. Remember Jalen Johnson on his contract year? Shit.
Yeah. Lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made them pay him. But
so yeah, but he did again prior to Terrell Smith's injury, he was nipping at Tyreek's heels, man. He was right there. You go ahead and make one mistake, Tyreek, and they're gonna put Terrell Smith in there.
right. So I think like their starters have the potential to be pretty good. The depth is where I'm worried at. If we go through another rash of injuries this year in the secondary like we did last year, we'd be screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't have a Nashon Wright this year. But Cloud is gone. Not that I'm gonna miss that dude, but
Yeah.
still.
The other guy, CJ is gone too.
Yeah. So you'd be signing people off of the street again.
Which I don't with Al Harris, man, I ain't too worried.
No.
Somehow he pulls out every bit out of the players. I don't know what he's doing. He just must be he's a damn good coach, man. That's probably it. He's a damn good coach.
Even if Za Frazier comes in and it's like a poor man, Nashon Wright, that's serviceable, in like spot play or relief duty or rotational. Hopefully he could cover a little bit better across the field. Being a younger kid, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see this kid play in preseason. If he can't make it back from whatever he was trying to make it back from, then at this point, cut the dude and be done with it.
I agree. Defensive line, ready? You guys ready for this?
Yeah, a plethora.
So again, defensive line, they're being very general here because we're going to have interior and edge guys in the list. Austin Booker, again, it's kind of the same thing with Austin Booker as it was last year. We need to see more. All right, take the next step. Let's do the next step. Granted, he started off the season injured, and I think the rest of the way that we saw him, I was happy with what I saw. I like Austin Booker. We just need to see just a little more, man. Just one more bump. You got to go up one more.
Yeah. I tell you what, man. Again, I was rewatching that Packers playoff game. Austin Booker was a force in that game. Yeah. I watched him specifically, and he was the only one who was getting consistent pressure. And I tell you what, man, I think he's Jordan Love's kryptonite for sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I love it.
And we got him. So 3 years experience. This will be his 4th year. Is this a contract year for him then too?
Yeah, it would be.
All right. So then we might see a version of Austin Booker we've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
We might.
If he could take that next step and the Bears draft a young edge rusher and they have 3 steady pass rushers, that can make a world of difference.
Yeah. Yeah. How about our boy Big Dex? 4 years experience. What did we do? Did we extend him?
Maybe picked up his option.
He wasn't a first rounder.
No. I mean, maybe he's going into his 4th year.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah. So,
but Big Dex, it's kind of the same story. The flashes that you see, you love them. You love to see it. You just don't see them very often, is all. Again, by week 6, he seems to hit some wall.
Yeah.
Because the first 5-6 weeks, man, he's he starts off really strong, and then that's it. He's a big kid. 6'6", 326. That's a big boy.
Yeah, 6 sacks. I mean, he's still projecting up, right? So his first year, 2.5 sacks. 2024, 5 sacks. And then I think in 2025, you were hoping to see more of a progression. he had 6 total sacks. I mean, if he could get to that 8, if he could get double digit on the interior, now
Oh,
we're talking, you know?
yeah,
It's
buddy.
just I don't know if we're gonna see that out of him.
Nope.
I mean, he was healthy all year. He just when he flashes, but any other time he was like Montez Sweat. It's either
Mhm.
sack or non-existence, you know?
Yes, right. Yeah. We got our new guy here,
Neville. Reminds me of a
Neville
name out of
Gallimore.
Harry Potter.
Neville.
Are you a Slytherin?
But I watched some of his highlight reels, and I get it. They're highlight reels. He can contribute. Looks like he's going to be able to contribute. He's obviously a rotational piece, so he'll be
Mhm.
in and out. You're going to have Shamar Turner and all those things, and Big
Yeah,
Dax.
he's there to be a run stuffer.
Yeah.
That's kind of his forte. That's what his tape shows. Big body guy with a little bit of speed, so he can actually track a running back down. Moving laterally. So that's what it really seemed like they attacked in free agency was just kind of these solid depth rotational pieces. Nobody that's going to jump off at the page at you.
Mhm.
It's just getting better from top down.
Next up, Jonathan Garvin. Anybody?
Who?
Anybody got any notes on? Yeah. Anybody got any
Yeah.
notes on Jonathan Garvin?
Yeah.
4 years experience, college, Miami. No stats to speak of. Like you said, probably practice squad guy.
Yeah. I mean, he played for the Packers in 2020 to 2022. Best season was a sack and a half. TFLs, yeah, not on
6'4",
here.
257. That's pretty lean.
Yeah, he's only had one start. He played in the UFL in 2024,
Oh,
helping the team claim the UFL title. So
Oh.
that's where he was.
okay.
Before the Bears. Signed with the Bears going into week 9 after spending the offseason in training camp with the 49ers.
Okay.
So he was a late addition.
Daniel Hardy. We retain him. He gets a
Special
little
teamer,
contract because he's a huge special teamer. Dude's a beast on special teams now.
Yeah.
He really is. I do not think any less of special teamers at all. If anything, they're huge. The guys who are just they don't see the field on offense or defense, but they go in on special teams. Those kind of guys are big time role players on a team. So good retaining him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there were in the beginning of the year, the special teams were god awful, but they did get better.
They did get better, but you were right, man. Oh my God, were we pulling our hair out
Yeah.
with the damn special teams units, man. Jeez Louise. The old man, the old statesman. Not
Grady
enough.
Jarrett. Yeah.
Not enough, my man. Not enough. Like, but you've said it before. You beat that drum all season. He really wasn't here for these numbers. We didn't bring him in for these numbers down here. We brought him in for leadership.
Veteran presence.
Veteran presence. Beat me to it. Yep. And that's what he's doing. And he's a damn good guy. He is. So, Camry Chroma. Anybody?
Nope.
Nothing. No. James Lynch. This is the dude we brought in. What, from Buffalo?
Yeah, via Minnesota. He played with Minnesota for a while. I know for sure. And then maybe the Titans, I think.
Titans.
He was at. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry.
So
got it.
Another depth piece, rotational, His best season was 1 sack. So, somebody who might not be on the roster come once we break the 53, quite honestly. We'll see.
Jeremiah Martin. I don't know nothing about him. He wears number 69. Nice.
Noise. I see what you did there, buddy. No career stats, no nothing.
All right.
Who are you, man?
1 year experience. He's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. He's on the rise. I don't even. I'm not going to. If my parents taught me if I ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Dio. When do we think he's going to be back?
I don't know. Hopefully never. Hopefully he just sits this one out. I don't know.
This is a bit of a head scratcher for me, man. Like, so I'm looking at his sack totals with Indianapolis. 2021, half a sack. 2022, 5 sacks. 2023, 8 sacks. 2024, 3 sacks. And then he gets traded or signs with the Bears on this huge contract, plays half the games, and has 1 sack in 8 games. Poles. He's going to be slotted into that Chase Claypool bucket when we talk about polls. Like, what were you thinking, bro?
Yeah.
I mean, at least Grady Jarrett, we could say, he was a locker room guy.
Correct.
Dio Dangbo. Yeah.
Head scratcher, like you said.
Chase Claypool.
Stealing from the Bears.
Yeah. The only way that I forgive Dio Dangbo is if he's 12 to 13 sacks this year.
Oh, are you kidding? Shoot. I will erase all the bad memory of what we're talking about him now. If he comes up with even give me 10 or more.
Yeah, double digit. Yep.
Give me double digit sacks. I'll shut right up. I'll shut all the way up. All right. Contavious Street, welcome to the Chicago Bears.
Still hasn't picked a number yet via the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
2025, 2 sacks. His best year was with the Saints in 2022, which I believe DA was there in 2022. 3.5 sacks. Interior player, even though I think they originally listed him as an edge, or I think maybe Atlanta listed him as an edge when we picked him up, but looks like he's going to be an interior player. 6'2", 287.
Think see what happens. Grady Jarrett. Think they're buddies.
Yeah, they were on the same line for a year or two. I remember reading that when they signed him.
Okay, all right. I like that kind of stuff when they pair guys back up again like that.
Yeah.
Montez. Not a bad season. Won't talk shit about his season. He had an all right season, but for the money you make, not enough.
The only issue that I had with his season, yes, 10 sacks is good. Maybe even some people will call it great. But his pressure rate had to be god awful. Like, it was sacks or nothing. It wasn't years past where he was disruptive.
Right.
Like, you just didn't see it. I mean, it was his best sack season of his career with 10. The next closest looking at it was 9 in his second year. I mean, so I guess that's good.
Well, didn't he have the year we brought him in? I think he had 12. Not with us. He had 6 with us and 6 with the Commanders.
You're right. Yep. So split 12.5. 5 pass defended. It just seemed quiet though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a quiet 10 sacks for him
Yeah.
last season. I just for me personally, I would I wouldn't care if he had 7 sacks, but if you hear him all the time, his name, tech TFLs,
Yep.
always in the quarterback's face, I would take that over the sack
So,
numbers all day.
agreed. And that was what I was kind of hoping from Grady Jarrett is that type because he's never been a high sack total guy, but he was always a disruptor in the middle, pushing the pocket. And we just didn't see that this year.
No.
He's definitely lost a little bit of the explosiveness. We'll see what happens moving forward. Hopefully, some young talent comes in and can aid with that. But that's and it was probably compounded by the fact that nobody else was getting any pressure either. So it unfortunately it fell at Montez's lap, but in my opinion, rightfully so.
Mhm. Agreed. Our young guy, Shamar Turner. Yeah, not enough of a sample size from him, but I am excited. I liked the pick when we picked him. I liked his energy and his personality at pressers, and then from the little tiny sample size we got, I liked it. And didn't they move him around too? That's what was pretty good about his game. They moved him around. He would play edge. Then they brought him inside,
Mhm.
and then so that's good stuff. If he can have range like that, uh, I hope he heals up and he's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him too. The dude eats, breathes football. He was a great prospect coming out. I just hope he comes back healthy, gets another camp under his belt, and then could kind of move forward and
Yeah,
take that next step. It sucks that he had to rehab in the off season. You know,
right.
I'd really love to see him kind of work on his craft over the off season versus rehabbing, but I'm with you on this one, man. I still think that the arrow's definitely still pointing up for this young kid.
Yeah. We're gonna skip the next guy.
So D line as a
Yeah.
whole, man.
The-
Snapshot after we went through everybody.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Uh, Terrible. Okay, just terrible. Just gotta
Okay.
keep it a Billy Buck Bean here on the show. Awful. This is why all these drafts we've been doing and all the shows we're covering and a defensive line needs an overhaul. An overhaul. Like we did the offensive line last year, that same thing needs to happen with the defensive line this year. It has to happen.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to have the assets to be able to overhaul it unless they hit in the draft.
And that's the sad truth. Yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, if we want them to overhaul this like they did the offensive line, it sounds like next year is going to be the year in which they'll have to take another crack at it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if they hit on their drafts picks, then we're not going to have to go as crazy as we did last year with it. So I agree with you. Definitely, as the roster sits right now, this is still a glaring weak spot on this team.
I swear if we can't stop the run this season, I swear your guys are going to hear about it every Wednesday and Sunday morning.
Yes.
Don't forget to follow us on all our socials. All of our socials are down. All the links are down in the description. Follow us on every social platform that you're on: Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you guys for showing up. We're going to talk about this guy for about 10 seconds.
Cairo Santos. I'll take this one. We need competition. Next.
Yeah. Bring in a kicker.
Yes.
Bring in a young, big-legged kicker to please run him out of town. We don't have to run him out of town. He could still get a Chicago pass. He can come visit, but I don't want you to kick for us anymore, Gyro. I'm
I
sorry.
literally started watching the UFL yesterday, I happened to come across it, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even realize it was opening weekend for those guys."
Hmm.
Specifically to look for a kicker that the Bears could try to get out of the UFL. It's the
Hmm.
only reason why I was watching it. Other than that, the game was crap.
Have you seen Austin Reed? Chicago Bears' very own Austin Reed balling.
I did not. What
Balling.
team is he on?
I don't know what team he's on, but he was like our fourth string quarterback.
Yeah.
We had him all during off season. Let's see.
Oh, from Kentucky.
Yeah.
I did see him. I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he was playing for one of the Dallas team.
Yep. Dallas Renegades.
Yes. He did, dude, he was lighting it up. I will say
He
that.
did. His stats were he threw for 370 yards.
Yeah. Good for
Like,
him, man.
but we knew, right? He was a fan favorite when he would go in, and he went in for his reps during preseason. Kid was balling.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just that we had other quarterbacks.
Yeah. Compared to the other guy who was playing for Houston's team, yeah, this kid actually looked like he could throw the ball. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that Austin Reed found a place to where he could get playing time and have some success. I would be shocked if he does not get another shot, at least as somebody's number 3
Hmm.
in the league.
He
So
will.
yeah,
I will, unless he has some kind of huge implosion during that football season. I guarantee somebody's going to bring him in. He's only 26 years old still, so
yeah.
somebody will bring him in and plop him in at the 3 spot, and whether or not he makes the final 53 or not. But yeah, I think the kid's
He was
future's
on Hard Knocks, wasn't he?
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. I was like, it seemed like he had a good personality. It's hard to believe that that was 2 years ago.
I know.
Who was
Feels
Hard
like
Knocks last year?
ooh, good
That's
question.
how memorable Hard Knocks was last year.
Yeah, nobody knows the team. Um, all right. So yeah, we talked about Cairo. We definitely need to bring in another kicker to compete with him. We just need a bigger leg. Cairo is consistent. I'll give him that. But it's just long range and him on kickoffs. He's an Achilles for us on the kickoffs because when you need
Yeah.
him to boot it out of the end zone, he doesn't have the leg to do that. So that's a problem. Field goal range too. I mean, he doesn't have that 60-yard leg, but mid 50s, lower 50s, he's accurate. He'll get you 3 points. And
Mhm.
so that's all good and fine and dandy, which is why I don't hate Cairo. But if we brought in a bigger leg, I wouldn't be sad to see him go. Remember when we brought in what's his name during the season? He
Jake
won a
Moody?
game. Moody, I was gonna say he kicked a game winner for us. That kid he's got a leg. I was hoping he would actually take Cairo's job, but
Yeah, I think the overall inconsistency that he had in San Francisco followed him. I mean, he kicked pretty well for the Bears,
yeah.
but Washington picked him up, and he continued to have a pretty good season with them. So,
All right. Moving on. Linebackers. Devin Bush. Probably one of our bigger sightings outside of Kobe. Kobe.
yeah. Mhm.
So this is I didn't realize he's been in the league 8 years.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we are drafting a linebacker. Maybe we will draft a linebacker.
But he's still only 27. You look at some of these guys coming out of the draft this year, they're 26.
Woo!
Right? So
Yeah.
he came out as a young pup.
Okay, so then right. Yeah, he got drafted very young. But the guy's a baller. He's absolute baller.
Mm.
I like his highlights. Fast, good in coverage. Here you go, right here. 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, 61 solo tackles. I mean, I think he's going to be a great addition. I guess I'll just ask you, upgrade from Tremaine?
Speed wise, for sure. Coverage wise, absolutely. That was another thing that stuck out in rewatching that Packers game. Tremaine in coverage downfield, even though the dude is a giant, was a liability. Like he was just getting toasted. And if you saw him out in coverage on a tight end, it made you nervous. You think about this division. The tight ends are pretty good in this division, so you have to have a
Yeah.
good coverage linebacker. Tucker Kraft, when he comes back for the Packers, probably a top 5 tight end.
Yeah.
You look at Hawkinson in Minnesota, still a good tight end. Laporta in
Detroit.
Detroit.
Detroit's got 2,
Yeah.
Tesla and Laporta.
So that makes a ton of sense to me in terms of them wanting to get faster and better coverage at the linebacker spot. This division has really good quarterbacks and really good tight ends.
So all right. Our boy, hometown kid, fan favorite, TJ Edwards. Any shot he's ready at the beginning of the season by week 1?
I think so, man. I mean, it was a broken leg. It wasn't any ligament stuff. So it's, him being able to, you got to think that leg is healed because what? Again, he got hurt in that Packers game that I was watching.
Yeah,
So
what a
that
freak
was
accident.
December. Yeah.
I just saw that highlight the other day, and I had forgotten how he got the injury. He stepped on somebody's foot while he was dropping out into coverage, and just the way the whole ankle and foot and
Yeah.
twist, I was like, ooh,
Howie.
ooh, ow.
Yeah,
yeah.
so I gotta think. I mean, it's been a good solid 3 months. So I gotta think that leg is getting healed. I mean, what was old Google say on how long it takes for a broken leg to heal? You know, I don't know. I would think 3-4 months, which would give him plenty of time to be able to get ready for camp.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope he's ready to go, because I would definitely really feel really comfortable about our defense with him and Bush as our starting linebackers, especially because we run a lot of nickel. So to have those two be the linebackers, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, so Google's saying 3 to 6 months for a broken leg. I mean, these guys are peak athletes, so you got to think he's going to be down towards the lower end of that.
Yeah.
So,
Dominic Hampton, I am unfamiliar with them.
Yep. Nope. No numbers, so he's got to be somebody that either signed or maybe came in late.
Ruben Hippolyte. This is an interesting one. Coming out of the draft, I should say, and going into the season, I think as Bears fans, we were all excited because we had heard so much good things about him. Rangy, he's fast, and of course, the team and Dennis Allen were beating that drum of speed, speed, speed. I think the small sample size that we did get from him was very underwhelming.
Yes, especially when he had his be able to start and get meaningful playing time. Granted, it got derailed by an injury, but still, when he was in there, you were expecting a little bit more for him. It definitely seemed like in preseason he had a few flashes. So I'm like, hey, this guy might be something. I think best case for him right now is going to be special teams.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything else that really made me think anything other than that.
Yep. And back to your concern with Shamar Turner rehabbing an injury instead of working on his game could hurt him coming back this season. Now, this is where things get real interesting here in the linebacker room, because we re-signed DeMarco Jackson, which was huge because I was scared he was going to end up somewhere else. out of the contributions we saw from him last season, I was like, "Oh, you got to keep this kid. You got to keep him," just because of his contributions were great, great at run stuff, great in coverage,
Hmm.
fast, all the things. Took on the green dot even.
Yeah.
Like this was a huge. He just proved out in so many different ways on the defense that this was a huge re-signing this offseason.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him get more playing time. I think he's definitely deserved it. I want to see what this kid could do while blitzing more and stuff as well, because he's got the speed to do it. Like you said, good in coverage. He had that pick against Pittsburgh, I think it was. Um, that showed his athleticism because he had to jump up, bat that ball down, and then came down with it.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing this kid, compete for a starting spot, man, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Or, or
sure.
or if we go 4-3 base, he could
Mhm.
be out there, but he might have to share some snaps with look who's back in town.
Return of the Jack. Return of the Jack.
So,
Another local hometown kid, fan
yeah,
favorite, Jack Sanborn.
fan favorite. Absolute fan favorite. We were sad to see him go to Dallas where he followed the Flus in a losing campaign out there. And they just signed him for one, huh? Because that was it. He was
Yeah,
one and done in Dallas, and now he's back home, baby.
yeah.
Hopefully
He's
he got himself a pizza puff right away.
yeah, exactly. A beef sandwich, and now he's settled in, good to go. Um, I I gotta be honest with you though. With welcome back, Jack. We love you, but I don't know how much playing time this kid's gonna get.
Right. Well,
And
he'll
rest
be
injuries,
depth.
yeah,
He'll
yeah,
be number 4 probably
yeah.
in the depth chart, unless, of course, we draft a linebacker, then he might be competing for spot 4. Um, because, right, we said this when we signed him, "Hey, we were happy to have you back." But when the GM and head coach is preaching speed, 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 I'm not thinking Jack Sanborn.
No, not at all. The kid plays faster than what he is, though. I will give him that because he's a hell of an instinctive linebacker.
Yeah.
He's shown it in the flu system. Let's see how he adjusts to DA system. I don't remember him playing a ton of special teams before, but granted, as I get older, my memory gets pretty fuzzy pretty quick.
Yeah. I think
Um,
he wa I think he was. He
yeah.
was a special teamer. Yeah.
So, I mean, worst case, you fill that mold. Maybe you can take DeMarco Jackson off of special teams. Sanborn goes in because DeMarco was playing a ton of specials, and hopefully that's an indicator that they think that Jackson could really be a contributor, possibly cracking the starting rotation. So,
Yep. Uh, it's so we have 2 Sewells on the
yeah,
team,
we got the bros. I think there's three of them though, and we got two of them.
and we got 2 of the 3 Sewells.
Yeah.
So another linebacker from the Sewell family on the team. No stats to speak of. What was he? Practice team?
Yeah, I have a feeling he got signed late here. It doesn't give me when he had signed, but he was with the Saints 2025.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Saints with the Saints 2022 through 2025. In 2025, he played in 3 games. Um, so he might have been hurt. So I'm guessing. So
Next, we got Noah, and I have to say, when we drafted him, I was excited. I thought we got a guy. Guys watching his highlights at Oregon and with the pedigree from which he's from, with his brother being Penny
mhm.
Penny out there. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. But I have to say, it's been not that great.
He did get a lot of playing time last season, and, with that being said, that, um, he took the reins over for TJ and Tremaine when they were hurt, so he was definitely that 3rd linebacker in this squad. I would put DeMarco ahead of him right now, just for the
Mhm.
fact that Noah Sewell is a downhill linebacker.
Right.
Not that great in coverage. DeMarco, I think, is a lot better than that, than we saw from Newell. Um, and on top of that, Noah's going to be sidelined with that Achilles for a while, man. Like,
Oh
if
yeah.
we see him, I don't think he's coming back until maybe the playoff push, the stretch run. Because he tore that thing pretty damn late.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how you feeling about our linebacker squad there? That's who we got.
Uh honestly, about the same as I did last year.
Okay.
Slightly better. We're definitely faster. I will say that. Unfortunately, TJ Edwards, I think, has lost a step. He used to be a really athletic linebacker. You see that. I think the injuries have just piled up to the point where he's just, there's nothing you could do about it, man. It's a violent game, and unfortunately, the injuries have taken their toll. I do think they need to get younger at that position.
Mhm.
That's why we would mock a linebacker to the Bears in there to get a guy in. I do think they need to add a little bit more of a dynamic piece there. The wild card, I think, this year is going to be DeMarco. Let's see what happens with him.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Now we're moving on to I think this section's gonna be fun.
Yeah, there's a ton of offensive linemen down here.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. So
Those
right at
are
the
so.
top, Karan Amagaji. Oh my Gaji.
Oh my god, gee.
This is I think this is probably a prove it year for him because that left tackle spot's wide open now, kiddo, and you've been here 3 years. All right. What have you been doing with your time?
Yep. Obviously, you hurt last year. I think with a knee, if I remember correctly. I agree with you, man. It's put up or shut up for Karan. You either prove that you could be a depth piece, and
Right.
I don't know if he could be a depth piece at tackle from the limited sample size that we've seen. So
Yeah.
can he dump down into the inside? If not, seemed like a
That's
good
it.
guy. Nice knowing you. I
Yeah,
don't
and
think he'll be
he
in the
went
league.
to look, he went to Yale. He'll be just
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Um, Theo, obviously the Canadian Eagle, the Canadian Screaming Eagle, came in, stepped up. Didn't do too bad, right? Great run blocker, little mid in the pass block game, but something he can work on. But I think he probably goes into this offseason fighting for that starting job.
I agree with you. I mean, he had what 6 starts last year at the left tackle spot. He's going to be in the rotation. He plays that third tight end in 13 sometimes.
Yeah.
He lines up as fullback. So Theo's got a lot of versatility, and I really like the fact that they re-signed him. He knows the offense.
Mhm.
So if some of these other tackles that they signed don't work out, me personally, I like him better than Braxton. Um,
Yes. Oh
so
yeah.
yeah,
I 1,000%. Everything bear show stamp of approval. Bam.
yeah.
That statement right there. I would feel much more comfortable Theo getting the starting job than Braxton. I've seen enough of Braxton.
Agreed.
I who's Kyle? Any background information on Kyle Hergel?
Old Kyle Hergel, huh? First of all, I don't like his mean mug. I feel like, he wants to start something. But spent the 2024 season with the New Orleans Saints. Um, Guessing he came over onto the practice squad with us in 2025, if I had to guess. Um, just taking a look at the logs and stuff. Um, Played a little bit of the preseason. So, yeah, it looks like he was a practice squad guy.
All right.
So,
Love it. Here we go. This was part of the reconstruction. This is a piece from the reconstruction of the offensive line last season, and Jonah Jackson, although had a rough start to the season, shaped up to be Pro Bowler, absolutely killed it. Once he got settled in and gelled with the rest of his offensive line mates, fucking balled his ass off. Huge piece. Love him. What do you got to say?
100% agree with you. Started off rough, and I was really critical of him, but it seems like that bye week was what he needed. They got on the same page, and listen, that offensive line took a little bit to gel. We saw it in the first 4 weeks. It didn't look great, but great signing, solidified the line. Going to be a staple on this offensive line for the next several years, which is what we need. Love the signing. Turned out to be great.
Absolutely.
Actually, it was a trade, so I'm pretty sure it was a trade. So
Braxton. We bring him back this year because we could have just let him walk. But I think we bring him back because of the desperation, obviously, at the left tackle position with Trapillo. We're probably not going to see him this season. If I had to be Debbie Downer about it. So we bring him in out of necessity, probably definitely in contention for that starting job if he works on his game and proves to Ben Johnson that he could be that protector on Caleb's blind side. But my expectations are very low because we've seen him for 5 years and he can't stop a bull rush to this day. What say you?
Yeah, 100% on that. No anchor. Definitely signed as an insurance policy. I think if they had signed Wills beforehand, I don't think Braxton would have gotten the re-sign on the contract. Honestly, I don't think it's a given that he's going to be on the 53.
Sure. That's a yeah.
Just calling it as I see it. If Wills has any type of a camp to where he looks like he's back from injury, I think Braxton will have a hard time making this roster.
Agreed. They just wanted to make sure that we had left tackles going into the offseason. That's all that was. Okay, this one here for me, probably one of the most biggest unsung signings this offseason. This was on the front of my brain at the very end of the season because McFadden, when he had to come in and sub in, was tremendous. He was very solid. And I am so happy that they brought him back because now he is, of course, a depth piece, but a rock solid depth piece. Love him.
I agree with that, man. Joe Tooney's not getting any younger. Yes, he was the Protector of the Year, the inaugural Protector of the Year recipient. But at the same time, what's Tooney? 33?
Yeah.
So I think Jordan McFadden can be one of those guys that they will have lined up to take Tooney's spot if he decides he wants to retire. Right? I think Tooney has 2 years left on his contract. I believe when they traded for him, they re-signed him for 3. I agree with you, man. This is the reason why Tooney was able to bump out the left tackle for that playoff game.
Yes.
McFadden came in, played well, great in the run game. I didn't see any issues with him in the pass game either, and the Rams had some pass rushers now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy that they signed him. I think he could be the heir apparent at left guard
Yeah,
when Mr. Tooney decides that he's
when
done.
when he hangs them up,
Mhm.
absolutely. Luke Newman, here we go. Yep, very young kid. Another solid depth piece, and he's still young, so he's gonna get better. But um, I don't think we saw him too much.
No, we saw him in the preseason, and he was taking snaps at center. So he's definitely a depth piece there. Insurance policy, center, I don't think would be the best position for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see him taking a bunch of snaps in preseason to see what he has, to see if that's something that he could develop into. I think that was more of a developmental piece, but when he was in there, man, I agree with you. Solid depth piece. He was a later round draft pick out of Michigan State, a Big Ten guy. So yeah, super solid guy.
Yep. Drum roll. The man of the year,
Yeah, protector
of
of the year.
course. I'll
The
just let you say. I'll just let you give the rundown. Joe Tooney. Everybody knows and loves Joe Tooney, but the floor is yours.
the consummate pro, the gold standard, the rock of this line, the reason why Caleb took the next step. What more can I say about this guy? And we all it cost us was a 4th round pick. Unbelievable move by Poles, captain of the team, playoff experience galore. The dude's hopefully, before he leaves the Bears, he can add another ring to the collection. We go from there. Just
Let's go.
I don't know if there's any more positives I could talk about this guy.
He's like he is the what did you say? He's the standard.
Yeah.
If you're a young coming out of college offensive lineman, that's what you want to be. Hey, where do you want to see your career? I want to be like Joe Tooney.
The consummate pro.
Yeah.
Good in front of the media, good in the locker, just yeah.
Love it. And like you said,
Ozzy.
yeah, very good move by Pulse with that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ozzy, here we go.
Oh, Ozzy.
My heart breaks. But
It broke all over again when I saw him hop off of the field in that Packers game. Again, Ozzy, thank you for your badassness and not costing us a 10-second runoff. You are a beast. So, because that's ultimately what helped doom the Packers when their bitch ass lineman couldn't get his ass up off of the field. So,
yep. I mean, just the situational awareness, despite being hurt, goes, I gotta get off the field. Shit, I don't want to hurt the team. So just the football IQ there is just off the charts for that. But what the kid showed us when he came in, we talked about it. We covered it on a show. At the point that we covered it, he had played 1,000 snaps and let up 0 sacks and 0 penalties.
Yeah, we jinxed him.
No, don't say we didn't do that. But no. So and then just his play on the field, Ben Johnson had talked about the importance of pass protecting over run blocking. He puts on the left tackle, and the kid was lights out. Like we were all like, that's it. That's it. We got our left tackle. Boom. 2nd round pick. We got a left tackle. And then obviously the injury. And now going into this offseason, we're back at square 0 on the left tackle. However, there's not, I was going to say, his recovery with this injury, there's not a whole lot of data on it, but Wedge has brought up in the past that where medical science is these days, sports science, he's a young kid. We're optimistic that he's going to come back, 100%, but we probably not going to see him this whole season.
Yeah, I think going into the season as Bear fans, we have to be realistic. if we see Ozzy, great. That's just kudos. And I think even if he does come back, he probably wouldn't be back until maybe playoffs.
Playoffs.
Um,
Playoffs.
Playoffs. Do you want to throw a kid back out there after an injury in playoffs? Maybe. It
No.
depends on how the other left tackles are doing, I guess.
Yeah, true.
So hopefully we're not in a position where we're like, oh God, Ozzy, please come back. These guys are horrible. Right.
I hope that's not the case.
Yeah. But does he need to sharpen up a little bit in pass pro?
Sure.
Absolutely. He's good in the run game, good in pass pro. Again, this was one of those people where you wish he could hone his craft in the offseason versus a long, arduous rehab assignment. But sometimes those are the cards you're dealt. He's a young kid. He's 24. He should be able to heal quickly. I am looking forward to seeing what Ozzy can give us. Unfortunately, we're going to be robbed a year of that, but he'll still have 2 more years after he comes back to see if he can cement himself as the long-term answer for the Chicago Bears at left tackle.
Amen. So here's an interesting signing, right?
Mm-hmm.
A former first-round pick who just kind of hasn't really panned out in his NFL career so far. A little bit of injury in his history, so that was a huge probably factor of why he hadn't really panned out. So this is actually another one of these kind of little quiet dark horse signings this offseason because he is a first-round talent. He needs a bounce back. That's pretty much his story. If he can bounce back, he might possibly solidify himself as the starting left tackle on this team with the proper bounce back. And dare I say, Ozzy Trapillo is going to be a depth piece because, again, because of this kid's, I wanted to say pedigree, but just his history and how he came out of college as a first-round pick at left tackle. It's a big deal.
Yeah, this guy has franchise left tackle upside.
Yep.
If he pans out to where he was coming out of college, I have a few of his stats brought up here. So 2020 season, started 15 games with the Browns, advanced to the postseason for the first time since 2002, was named to the all-rookie team.
Damn.
2021 started 13 games, helped block for the Browns rushing attack, which finished 4th in the NFL with 145.4 yards per game. Nick Chubb that year ran for 1,259 yards.
Oof.
2022 started all 17 games. Nick Chubb rushed for a career high 1,525 yards,
Damn.
3rd most in the NFL in 2022, 4th most in the franchise history. Wow. 2023 started 8 games before being placed on injured reserve for the remainder of the season. 2024 played 5 games, injured reserve list for the rest of the season. So he missed all of last year as well with injuries. So if this young man can come back healthy, this, like I said, has left tackle franchise upside. We could see what happens. We're in a no risk scenario with this
Correct.
guy.
Yeah.
If he comes in, he balls out, you just made one of the smartest signings of the offseason.
Yep.
If he doesn't, no big deal. You still have Braxton, you still have Theo, you have Ozzy coming back, and then Jedrick Wills becomes a sad story of a guy with all the potential that injuries just decimated his career.
And it didn't cost us nothing.
Right. So this, if he doesn't look like the guy that he was in the past, this is another guy who might not make the 53.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, because they'll be analyzing him all through OTAs and preseason, and right, there could be a shot he doesn't even make the 53. Oh boy, here's our boy. Second team all pro. Kind of one of those consummate pro molds.
Yeah.
Consummate pro shows up for work, does his job, although he did have a rough start with Ben Johnson as well. It took Dan Rochar to put his ass on blast. But what a great offensive line coach we have, because he does squeeze out every bit out of his players as well and gets them to perform at a high level. And you know what? This is a kudos to Darnell Wright for taking the coaching and becoming the player we all know and Ryan Poles knew he is.
I was very critical of Mr. Wright at the beginning of the season because I had great expectations for Darnell. Max Crosby, he made Darnell his bitch. He looked terrible in that game. As a matter of fact, Darnell got benched in that game for one Mr. Theo Benedict, which helped vault him into a starting position on the left side. So,
yeah.
But like you said, he got it together, put together an all-pro season, top 4 tackle, and the Bears are going to have to back up the money truck to make sure that he remains on the roster for another 3 to 4 years.
And I have to say, I wish I had it pulled up. Great hands. Okay. You want to put him on a 9 route? You could put Darnell Wright on a 9 route.
That one-hand snag in the drills. Yes.
Yeah, ballerina twirl, one-handed grab. Unbelievable.
The cartwheel backflip going down the field. That was
yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of a unicorn that way.
All right. We got Torrey Taylor. I won't zoom in on him. We all know he's a good punter. He's a good punter. Yeah. He's got every club in his bag. I don't think, knock on wood, I don't think out of all the punts that we've seen him punt, I've never seen him shank a ball. I've never had to go, what the fuck kind of punt was that? Never. Yeah. The kids always pretty much lights out. So that was a good pickup. A 4th round draft pick, I'm not sure, but you know.
Right.
All
Maybe
right,
a
quarterback.
For him.
Yeah. Quarterback room, boys. Tyson Bagent.
Okay, Bagent truthers.
What can you say about
comments?
I know. Well, then people are starting to file in. Thank you guys for showing up. You know, if you're new to the channel, hit like, subscribe, follow us. We go live every Wednesday, every Sunday morning. Follow us on all our socials. They're down in the description below. Whatever social media platform you're on, click the link, follow us, all that good stuff. But Tyson Bagent, although we're not Tyson Bagent truthers here, we don't hate the kid. He's a very awesome backup quarterback to Caleb. If Caleb ever goes down and Tyson has to go in, I am fully confident he can run Ben Johnson's offense, and there won't be much of a drop off from Caleb. Well, hold on now. Let me watch it now. He can operate the offense. I'll say that. If Caleb ever goes down, and we're not going to see probably Tyson drop back 30 yards, scrambling away from defensive linemen, and while fading away, throw a ball and hit Cole Kmet in the back of the end zone. We're not going to see Tyson do that. But he's a good kid. He's on top of his P's and Q's. Have you seen his CrossFit workouts? This kid's a specimen.
Yeah. Yep. But he's a workout demon. I think, unfortunately, the value in which you could have gotten for Tyson Bagent, that ship has sailed. Yeah. So if you were going to move him, this was the year. Next year, the draft is a little bit more quarterback heavy. But in the same time, I am not sad to see that Tyson's still on the roster. He's a guy, if Caleb goes down for a couple weeks, you could feel pretty confident that he could go like 2-2 over a 4-game stretch, even if you're playing some pretty good teams. So.
Yep. And I'll throw this out there too. The offseason's not over yet. So if there's
draft day is coming. Yes.
Draft day is coming upon us. So just keep that in mind. Case Keenum, we all know this guy's role on the team. He is mentor to Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent. His wealth of knowledge and years of experience come into this quarterback room as a fountain and wealth of information and game experience. I think probably also on top of the revamping of the offensive line, Case Keenum is probably another big point of why Caleb Williams had the year that he did. So as Caleb Williams' ascension keeps going, we could probably give a big thank you to Case Keenum for his his role in that room.
Definitely a good mentor. Even if this coaching staff wouldn't review tape with Caleb Williams, I'm sure Case Keenum would have taught Caleb how to break down tape. Yeah, instrumental in Caleb Williams' development. I love the fact that they brought him back another year. I think until those habits get fully cemented and Caleb kind of continues to ascend, super solid. I'd be okay if they bring him back a third year, honestly.
Yeah.
Bring it on. We'll pay you a couple million to hold the clipboard and not be active on any Sunday. So,
all right. Now we're entering. Oh, I almost paid him no mind.
the Iceman.
Thief. Stealing nicknames. The nerve of Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Should we talk about this for just a hot second now that we're here?
Skip Bayless, shut your mouth. Keep Caleb Williams out your mouth.
Keep Caleb's name out your mouth. Skip.
Yeah.
Skip. Look here, Skip.
Skip it.
Like,
Yeah.
what a shitty take, okay? And we know Skip Bayless is full of them. But this one is right up there of one of the stupidest. Is this NFL season? Are sports that slow right now that this is what you have to, your hot button topic? You're stupid, Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
You're dumb. Shut up. Go away. I'm so glad that Caleb roasted him.
Yeah. Checked his ass.
Checked him. Absolutely checked his ass. That was the dumbest thing. And then you got people, even of course, Big Mike. He got into it on Twitter with a Packers fan over it because Packers fans are probably co-signed Skip Bayless's bullshit.
Yeah. Listen, man, the kid's a businessman. Not only is he a consummate pro, but he's got Caleb Williams LLC. I tell you what, he's got more than trademarks going for him. I could tell you that much right now. We saw it on the Rush with Max Crosby. He's part of an investment group, and who knows what they're investing in. But good for the kid, man. I hope he gets it.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the basketball player. Listen, man, this is the here and now. If you wanted to be known as the Iceman, you should have trademarked it 20, 30 years ago. Don't get all butthurt. You're not losing out on merchandising. This kid has a chance to make a ton off of it. And listen, man, he didn't give himself that gloss. That was Luther Burden that started calling him the Iceman. And it stuck.
Right?
And well-deserved.
And well-deserved.
Yeah.
So now that we got that out of the way, and speaking of well-deserved, Bears fans all across the world, I'm talking to you from the Everything Bears show. We have finally found a franchise quarterback. Finally. This kid's going to be our quarterback until he decides he doesn't want to play football anymore. So we got 10, 15 years of Caleb Williams coming at us. And we've seen the throws. We've seen the magic. We've seen the clutch. We've seen the growth. And we're going to continue to see it until he plateaus and hits a. I'd like to see the comps now. Oh, yeah, his ceiling is what'd they say? Geno Smith. That's his ceiling?
Yeah.
Geno Smith. No, his ceiling is Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. That's his ceiling. Now he has to win some big games and championships, obviously, to be up there. But, I mean, the clutch, the throws, the angles, the elusiveness, the fire. You saw him in the playoffs yelling, do your fucking job. That's Tom Brady. That's what the greats do. You've seen Drew Brees. You've seen Tom Brady. You've seen him on the sidelines cursing out their wide receivers or their offensive line. A blue streak. We got our guy. Wedge.
About damn time. Tired of going into every year who's going to be the quarterback, who's going to be this. Caleb, the city is yours. Here is the key. You already had it through mid-year last year.
Yeah.
Caleb is the best quarterback that this city have seen and probably will be for a very long time. He is the reason why we're so optimistic and looking at some of these positions and being like, you know what? We're still a playoff team.
Yeah.
Right? I love the fact that you saw the leadership come out of him, and you alluded to it in the playoffs to where he's getting in guys' faces. He's holding people accountable. That was the one piece I was afraid of that we wouldn't have, and Caleb erased all of that in the playoffs. Does he have to play better in the playoffs personally? He does. He turned the ball over quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's here. Now he's got the playoff experience. I guarantee you that or I should say, when we make it back to the playoffs, we will see a better version of Caleb Williams, another year in this offense. Buckle up. I can't wait.
Dude, I am so effing excited because, like, just think about it. Week 1, season's kicking off. There are rumors swirling around that it's going to be against Seattle.
Yeah.
However, the confidence and the swagger this kid's going to have marching up to get under center to start his first he's just going to be oozing confidence. Like, oh, I cannot wait. Woo!
Yeah.
All right. Woo. So our quarterback situation for once, Bears fans, I think we've been saying this all offseason too. How does it feel? I mean, let's keep it a buck here. How does it feel to go into an offseason not talking about a quarterback?
Yeah. Why do you think you and Big Hen were able to talk about defensive line and how shitty that draft process has been? Because we finally found a quarterback. That is not the narrative for this team anymore. Now we're on to defensive line and how shitty that is.
Yes. That's great. All right. So our quarterback situation, we're good. Running back room. That's where things get a little
interesting.
Little interesting. So Britton Brown, a depth piece. He did score a touchdown. Is he a special teamer?
Yeah. Yep.
Special team piece. I mean, with the running backs that we have, and we'll get to the players here in a second, not a whole lot of playing time. You see 5 carries, 37 yards there. Got him that one tutty. But, as a special team contributor, he's fine. If we bring in any other running backs, they would probably easily take his spot in the depth chart in that room. But he's fine. Nothing bad to say about the guy, but.
Yeah, practice squad guy. Came in, spot duty. That's what you want there.
Yeah. Yeah. Deion Hankins. Unfamiliar with him, so we won't spend too much time on him. It looks like he's had 2 years in the league.
Yeah, signed by Chicago as an undrafted free agent following the 2025 draft. Out of UTEP, was a second team all-conference player for Conference USA.
Yeah.
Practice squad guy, yeah.
All right. Next up, probably third on the depth chart, and not too sure why he's still on the team. Not for anything bad, just the production isn't there. And when he did get his moments back when the Flus was around, just didn't show me enough for me, anyways, to go, oh my God. Even though he was touted as, and I was excited when we drafted him because he was Bijan Robinson's backup, and apparently he was pretty savage in college. So when Bijan would get a spell and he'd go in. He was really good, but it just didn't translate to the NFL, at least with us on the Bears. So I would be looking forward to a running back if we do get crazy this draft and we do one of these surprising, like, what? We drafted who? Running back wise? Like, to take his spot.
Yeah. I don't see Roshan being long for this team. He is on the rookie deal, so he might stick around. But if he's the odd man out, I do see him going. He hit his high water mark last year or the season before this past in rushing for 6 touchdowns. All of those were short yardage, average 2.7 a carry.
Yeah.
So,
oh boy. Oh boy.
is this your favorite Bear? Be honest now.
So
I know you love you some Monangai.
So there are two, because like I haven't bought a Bears jersey in forever. And I told myself for the season coming up, when you see me on the show, and that's funny that you had said this because we hadn't talked about this off air. I have 2 jerseys I'm gonna buy, or one of 2, and he's one of them. This is one of them. Yes, Kyle Monangai is probably one of my favorite Bears on this team, except for the other jersey that I'm gonna buy. And what can you say? He's the hammer. Okay,
Yeah.
he is absolutely the hammer. And forget that he was drafted in the 7th round. This kid is a 2nd round talent. Like, absolutely, he's got moves. He's a little bowling ball. He's hard to tackle, and he punishes tacklers. Punishes them. If I was a safety and I see him passing the linebacker, the 2nd level, I'm going, oh fuck.
Yeah. Great. I got, this little lightning ball coming at me, ready to hurt with bad intentions.
Bad intentions, man. He is breaking people's helmets. Every game, his decals are dangling off of his helmet.
By the end of the first quarter, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, woo. Go ahead, Witch.
What more can you say about him, man? 7th rounder. The kid seems like he's one of the nicest kids in the locker room, but yet flips the switch when he's on the field. Plays violently. I love him as well. Just workhorse, came in, work hard, took the coaching that he needed to. Took him a while to get on the field, but when he did, he made the most of every opportunity. Maybe missed a few opportunities with the fact that he dropped a few screen passes that would have been big.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like that tandem of Swift and Monangai just wore teams out through the middle of that season.
Yeah.
You just think back to that Phillies game and what these 2 guys did to that team. They stole their soul, broke their spirit. The Eagles were like, let's get the fuck out of here and go eat some leftovers. Yeah. And so I am a big Monangai fan as well. I hope that he sees an even bigger role. And we just see this 2-headed monster rolling from week 1.
So that, and I think we might, because as much as Ben Johnson loves the run game and it's an integral part of this offense, if you look at his stats right here, where he had 169 carries for 783 yards, and that is due in part to what you just said a second ago about, like, early on in the season, the rookies, the coaching staff put the rookies through a vetting period. They weren't incorporated into this offense until later in the season. If they had used them from week 1, he would have also eclipsed 1,000 yards. So, and it wouldn't be that much of a bold prediction to say that next year we will probably have 2 1,000-yard rushers on this team.
Yeah, I agree with you. The potential's there. So just piggybacking off of what you just said, the vetting process. The Vikings did not get a single carry. He caught 1 pass. Lions, 7 carries. Cowboys in week 3, 6 carries.
Yeah.
Raiders, 4 carries. Commanders, 5 carries. And then against the Saints in week 7, he had 13.
Yeah. That's when, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there was probably just up there the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His breakout game, if you remember, in that shootout against the Bengals, 26 carries for 176 yards. He also rushed for 22 carries and 130 yards against the Eagles. Those were his two 100-yard plus games.
Yeah, and that's the potential of this kid. He can give you that. Like and because I believe one of those games he was the starter and the main ball carrier because Swift was out with the injury.
Bengals, yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, the kid stepped right in and did his damn job, and it's like, yes, what a draft pick he was. Love Kyle Monunga, I love him. Once we get later down the list, we'll talk about the other player that I want to buy his jersey. Let's see. DeAndre Swift. Okay. You know what? We have thrown our shade plenty at this guy because of his non-aggressive run style, always running to the sidelines and just trotting out of bounds. And you're like, what are you doing? I don't know what happened during the bye week this season, but something happened. Words were said, and then DeAndre Swift turned into the DeAndre Swift that played for the Eagles and the Lions. He turned into that DeAndre Swift because he balled out after that bye week. He started, like you said, taking the coaching, following his tracks of where he's supposed to be. Like, you know what? You just need to trust that hole's going to be there. Hit it and hit it fast. And he did. And same thing, man. When he needed to lower his shoulder, he did. He punished tacklers too. But then when you get him in open field, he'll make tacklers miss. And yeah, DeAndre Swift really turned it around, and I'm excited for him this season coming up.
I agree with you. Coming into this season, I was a Swift hater. Arm tackles would bring him down. Shoelace tackles would bring him down. Ran with zero power, ran away from contact. And as a Chicago Bears fan, I just can't get behind a finesse back. It's just not in our nature. It's not in the team's history of the type of backs that we like here. But he showed me something this year. He took on the contact, was breaking tackles, was falling forward, and he looked pretty good in this offense. Like this offense definitely fit his skill set, and he's a big reason why I think this offense was able to take that next step with Caleb Williams. Definitely legit run game in there. I'm not sad to see Swift back. Do I think that they need an upgrade at some point? I do. I think if they can get more of that speed and power back, like a David Montgomery, Jabari Gibbs, even though he's kind of one of a kind type of thing, that's ideally, I think, what the Bears would want. They already have the hammer in Monunga, but I think they need, that bell cow. I think they'll look to upgrade DeAndre Swift at some point here. And I'll be curious to see. This is the last year of his contract. So what is his contract going to look like after this year? What type of money is he going to demand?
Yeah. It'll all be dependent on his production. So our running back room, how you feeling?
They definitely need to add a piece, I think, especially with, what everybody's saying in terms of Roshan possibly being gone. So we'll see there. Yeah, Peck, Mike Washington, Singleton, Claiborne, all engine booster speed to the end zone. Yeah. I see them looking to add somebody. If I had to guess if the Bears were going to draft wide receiver or running back, I think the onus is on running back in this case to see if they can't get somebody who can contribute to that room.
Yep. Good contribution, Mike. Any of those running backs right there would be a fine addition to this running back room. Thank you for commenting, man. Thanks for checking us out. All right. Look, we have more tight ends on this roster than I was expecting going into this.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll start at the top. Steven Carlson. Princeton, so a smart kid.
Yeah.
Any insights on the Stephen Carlson?
He played a game there for a while. He had to step in, got signed up from the practice squad guy. I think that's kind of where he was at. He was originally an undrafted free agent. So, he's been able to carve himself out a niche, a depth piece as well with where the tight ends are at on this roster. I'm sure he'll stick around whether it's practice squad or not.
Next up, Kadir Ismail. Not a whole lot of info on him. Was he undrafted last year or something? We just practice squatted him up.
Yeah, looks like it. No real information on him. So, yeah.
All right. Now we get to the meat potatoes. Cole Kmet, hometown kid, fan favorite, consummate pro, hard worker, busts his ass, very friendly with the media, makes his rounds, good guy, solid blocker, great hands. Man, was he clutch with that catch in the back of the end zone that Caleb tossed him in that playoff game. After earlier looking like he got concussed because he took a hell of a shot and looked like he got his bell rung. But the kid, he's strong. I mean, tough as nails. I do love Cole Kmet a lot. For what he does, we've seen his skill set. He's just very good at it and a huge part of this offense.
As Paul was saying, I wouldn't be shocked if the new running back coach, Stutesville, and special team coach Hightower are advocating for keeping Rojo. Yeah, he does contribute on special teams. If he's going to make this roster, that's where it's going to be at. And, I was looking at that name, and I thought the same thing.
Me too. I was like, any relation? But I just figured,
the Rocket out of Notre Dame. What was his brother's name? So you had the Rocket Ishmael. I'd like to say his brother played for Syracuse, and I'm drawing a blank. Oh, man. He played for the Vikings. I'm pretty sure his brother did. Yeah. So, but yeah.
It's escaping me. I don't know.
I want to say it starts with a Q as well. And I'm not pulling it off of the top of my head. So, it's definitely like Kadir. Maybe it might have been like Quandary or something.
Oh, there you go. Quadre Ishmael.
Quadre. Okay, I was close. I knew Quandary wasn't right, but
there we go. Yeah. Quadre Ishmael. There you go. Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
It was on the tip of my tongue. It wasn't sounding right, so I didn't want to sound like a fool, and I was a fool anyway. So, but
all right. Thoughts on Cole Kmet, Wedge?
Cole Kmet, he's kind of lost a little bit of the spotlight, hasn't he? With the next guy that we're going to talk about. Well, super solid. I just don't know. Oh no, Romy's coming in with another joke. I just don't know if for what he's making, is he going to be a long-term answer for the Bears? He's the consummate pro, good locker room guy. I just think, with the next guy that we're going to talk about, he's definitely been overshadowed a little bit. So
yeah, but again, I think like the tandem of them both complement because when we run a lot of these 13, 12 personnels, okay, you want to go ahead and pay more attention to Colston because he's more of a threat out there. Cole Kmet's going to gouge you just as good as, it might not be quite, if he's not as fleet-footed as Colston, but
yeah,
his role is very much because Ken comes in a different box. You dirty son of a gun, you, Romy.
Kmet in terms of, they do complement each other. He could be the bigger tight end. He's more of the stretchy up the seam type of guy. I just hope he stays on his feet after he catches the ball.
That's not going to happen. So don't just
Yeah.
erase that. Right? He's never shown us that he can, and I don't expect that from him. Do you know what, Cole? Just catch the ball and fall down. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, fall
As
for it,
long as
buddy.
you, as long as you could give me one of these after that catch, okay? I'm cool. It's fine. Does Cole get more targets with DJ gone? Didn't he catch like 70 balls with Fields?
That's what got
So
him
he
the big
probably.
contract. Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, honestly, let's be honest. He caught 70 balls because there was a lack of options. Now there's options literally at every position on offense. So will he catch 70? Probably he'll never see 70 again. Or I don't, you know what? I don't want to put ceilings on anybody, but I would say he probably gets just as many targets
hmm
as he did
So
last year.
yeah, Cole Kmet came in 73 grabs, 719 yards that year with 6 touchdowns. The year before with Justin, he was 50 for 544, 7 touchdowns. And then with Caleb, just looking at it real quick here, 47 for 474. And then he missed a few games last year, 30 grabs for 347. I have a feeling that with DJ being gone, a lot of those grabs are going to get redistributed to Colston. Luther and Rome, I think, will be the biggest benefactors of that, with my guess, Luther being the number one on that.
Yep. Which brings us to
Brings a smile to my face.
Go ahead. You're a Michigan guy. I give the floor to you.
Yes. What can you say about this? Another home run in the draft. You look at the last 2 years that the Bears have drafted in the first round. We got Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, and Colston Loveland. Talk about the core of your offensive weaponry right there. I absolutely love this kid. He shocked me. I'm with you. I'm guessing this is the other guy's jersey who you would buy. No. Okay. Oh, are you force choking me here? Okay. This is the jersey I would buy. It would be Colston Loveland. The kid is humble as can be. He blocks his ass off, which is one of the reasons why I think he got onto the field to help show what he could do in the pass game. He earned his way onto the field, and then he just exploded. Look at the Bengals game. Look at the Packers playoff game, which, by the way, in that game, he now has more receiving yards in a single game than people like the likes of Travis Kelce. Unfreaking believable what he did this past year. God willing, if he stays healthy, will probably be the best tight end in Chicago Bears history. And the ceiling is undefined for this kid right now. The arrow is pointing way up. I can't wait for year 2. If it's half as good as year 1, we're in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they literally coined a term, third in Loveland. Third in Colston?
Fourth in Loveland.
Fourth in Loveland.
Yes.
Because of just the clutch. You know, of course, Ben Johnson is scheming him open on these things, but he's always in the right position. And there was a big portion of the season we were saying the best hands on the team, like period. Like you said, his contributions in the run blocking make him a threat in the pass game because, you know, usually there's inline tight ends like a Cole Kmet where you're like, oh, they're running the ball. Cole Kmet's in. Like with Colson, you don't know because he's so good at run blocking. He does both. That keeps the defense on their heels, and that's not where they want to be. So, again, barring any kind of injury or anything, by the end of next season, because again, he was a rookie and they did do a vetting thing where we didn't really see his contributions early on in the season. But now he's going to be a top 3 tight end in this league. And that also would be another jersey I would consider, but because Colston is just he's a stud, dude. That's it. Enough said. That was a home run of a pick.
Just, I mean, you look at some of his receiving games down the stretch. 94 yards against the 49ers, 91 yards against the Lions with 10 grabs. His big game was 6 against the Bengals with one of the most memorable catches of the year, where he 6 for 118 for 2 touchdowns. I would be shocked if this kid does not hit 1,000 yards this year.
I would, well, because you got to think. So this year, Caleb's thrown for 4,000. And then if you think about the weapons on the team and you just start to distribute that 4,000 yards, I'm with you on that one. Colston's probably going to see 4 digits on his yardage this year.
Yeah. The kid caught 58 for 713 this year, 6 touchdowns. So bold prediction here, and I don't think it's that bold. 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns for Mr. Loveland this year.
Yeah. I mean, his contribution, he's going to be just as when you think of the 49ers offense and you think Kittle, when you think of this Bears offense, you're going to think Colston Loveland. Period. So our tight end room, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about our tight end room?
Top 2 guys, super solid. We definitely need another piece there. Somebody who's good at blocking. The 2 that we have right now just aren't it.
Oh, okay. See, at the Everything Bears Show, we mute our microphones when we sneeze or cough. We're doing you guys a favor. We're professional. We are also consummate professionals around here.
It got me. Woo, just came out of nowhere. Woo.
So you were saying add another tight end to this room.
Yeah, blocking being the primary focus. Anything else that they give us in the pass game is just a bonus at that point.
Yep. So wide receivers, now we do the wide receiver room, and this will be our last batch, which we are doing overtime. We're going extra long here, but Maurice Alexander. Is he really wearing jersey number 13? The nerve.
The old Johnny Knox jersey?
The nerve. But experience 1 year, 5'10", 173. He's a small little guy. Must have been a practice squatter, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like he got a little bit of time, I'm guessing, specials with the Packers. Was with the Lions 2022, 2024. Bears signed him in 2025.
Paul, assuming Wills and Bradbury start, we could have 6 first-rounders on the Caleb, Wright, Rome, Loveland, and then those others. Yeah. And that's where you want to be, right? This is something. Poles is some mastermind plotting and planning, but this is what you want. You want a team, your starters, like, man, they got all first rounders out there. That's all blue chippers. It's a good feeling, man. This is a great time to be a Bears fan these days. Finally, the pendulum is swinging the other way.
Yeah, I do think Bradbury, if I remember correctly, was taken out of the second, but the point's still taken right there, where they built this offense the right way, and they're young and talented, especially at the the skill positions. They're looking good, man. And I think if the Bears are able to hit on a couple defensive draft picks this year, I think you switch back over to where running back is going to be one of the top priorities for the following year, and then maybe adding another weapon, day 2 or 3, while continuing to bolster that defense. So next year, after this draft, I mean, I could see it being offense, defense kind of mixed. We know this one's going to be defensive heavy, but then it gets fun. Then you truly are in a position to take BPA.
Absolutely. Next up on our wide receiver room, here's the other jersey I would buy. This kid's moxie is matched by his ability on the field, in my eyes. The kid plays with swagger, also very good hands, although he did drop a couple. There was actually there was a small little, all our wide receivers couldn't catch the ball, it seemed, for a couple games there in a row, where it was like, why do all our receivers have the yips? What the hell's going on? But anyways, the kid's yard after catch ability, his toughness, he blocks. Okay, so this is important too. You got to block in this offense. And I think also he was a rookie that was vetted, that the coaches vetted. And so he didn't get a whole lot of playing time or targets early on in the season. But later on, when he proved he can block, and when he proved he knew his assignments, and he was given the opportunities, man, he made the best of it. Ends up with 47 receptions for 652 yards, couple tutties. I think those numbers are going to grow exponentially this season because, again, same thing with the other rookies. They're going to be bona fide starters day one. They're going to be on the field, and Caleb's going to be spreading the ball all over. I'll just say one last thing and let Wedge take over. Force choke. Force choke.
Get it.
Is absolutely filthy. I hope he keeps those celebrations. I mean, keep it just when we play the Packers, but I really like this kid, and his arrows definitely up.
100% agree with you here. I'm excited to see Luther Burden in year 2. He had some crazy stats, like the largest yard per route average that he ran. He averaged 13.9 yards per catch last year in the regular season.
Wow.
And you're right, man. He didn't really start seeing the field until the second half of the season, and he still ended up with 652 yards.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. I expect that touchdown number to go way up. As Paul was talking about earlier, where do I think some of those DJ catches go? They're going there. I miss DJ already, and looking at the roster, and thinking of him dancing in the locker room with the cheese grater head on when I see it in our opening video. I will miss DJ, but this offense is still in good hands, and Luther Burden is one of the stars waiting to emerge on it.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Khalif Raymond. This was an interesting pickup.
We skipped Romy.
Oh my goodness, I did not. Oh my, how can I forget? Man, I'm sorry, Rome. Yeah, Rome. Golly. Size. What he could do with his body, he's good. He's fast. All right, all the things. He did have a little bit of he had a foot injury. That was unfortunate. If I had to give any downgrades to him, it's contested catch. He's got to work on. But dude is a stud. Don't get it twisted. He has made spectacular catches. Where did he end up with 6 touchdowns? Coming out of the gates, was it not apparent he was wide receiver 1, period. Caleb was hitting him all the time, consistently. He looked like he was Caleb's safety blanket for a while starting the season. And it was like, there's a connection here. Expect that to be the case going into this season as well. That's not going to go away. Although I do think Luther and Rome will probably be wide receivers 1A and 1B. Rome is still probably going to be one of Caleb's favorite targets. They were drafted together. They had to go through the Flus year together, so there's just a trauma bond there, and he's working with TJ Houshmandzadeh, and he's bulking up, and it probably has a lot to do with contested catches, I would bet, because that's what he struggled with. It was apparent. You'd see it on the tape. So that's what he's working on, and I expect him to be 1,000-yard receiver, and double-digit tutties. That's it for me on Rome.
Piggybacking off of what you said, man, they came out of this offseason on fire. Out of those 6 touchdowns, Rome caught 5 of those in the first 4 weeks.
Damn.
6 grabs for 37 against the Vikings and a tutty, 7 grabs for 128, 2 touchdowns against the Lions, 3 for 62, touchdown against the Cowboys, 4 for 69, touchdown against the Raiders. And then he disappeared for a little bit. Ravens game, he went 7 for 114, didn't find the end zone, didn't play against the Bengals. And that's really when the production just fell off the face of the earth. That's also, with no coincidence, when he was having the foot issues.
Yeah.
The same with Rome. He needs to be wide receiver 1A or B for this offense to be able to take the next step. Because I think if he's playing at that level with having Colston Loveland and Luther Burden on there, that will turn this offense from good to deadly. So let's hope for a healthy season from Rome so that he can continue to improve. I'll be honest with you, man. I need to see that next step from Rome for me this upcoming season. And if he doesn't make that, I'm going to be a little bit upset. I would also think that if he doesn't, you might have to look to pivot off of him, especially if Luther breaks out. So
that's 1,000% correct. So this is a big year for Rome this year. This is a prove it year. This could very well be a pivot year because, like you said, yeah, he'll have one more year left. Oh, and he was a first rounder too, so he does come with a 5th-year option baked in. But this is going to be year 3, and if you don't show what the coaches need to see, they may pivot. Like you said, they may have to pivot. But I trust. I do. I've seen Rome, right? We've seen him the season that he had with Caleb, which kind of doesn't count with the Flus. But seeing what we saw coming out of the gates last season, like if Rome could just do that and be healthy all season, he's going to be just fine. So I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident.
So Romy was saying Rome and DJ Moore got the bulk of the balls at the beginning of the season. And then when it was spread evenly, and then it went to spread evenly once Burden and Loveland were involved. You saw who he's comfortable with. Again, kind of that vetting for that. So,
yeah. Should Raymond be the only other older wide receiver vet we bring in? I would say yeah. I would say yeah on that one. Let's get younger. Like either if you got to go undrafted, which we're about to get to the guy here in a second, if you got to go undrafted or even later in the draft, if you can find yourself a nice little gem to bring in as depth. But I just think we got to keep this team younger. So we get to Khalif Raymond here. An interesting pickup for us because so we end up not retaining I just had his name.
Zacchaeus.
Okay, so him too, but Duvernay.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right, because Khalif Raymond's probably going to be our new specials guy. And he probably will see the field occasionally as well as a wide receiver, but definitely a special team return guy. But man, right? I can't believe he's 31 because he's still fast. He still looks fast.
He was yoked out, man. I remember him running down the sideline last year.
Yep. So very interesting. He brings that experience and then the peace of mind because as we know, as we suffered through Bayless Jones Jr. not being able to catch punt, that PTSD has been gone when we had Duvernay. And I think just Khalif Raymond keeps that nice and consistent. We don't have to worry during specials the ball's in good hands with Khalif Raymond. So interesting how Ben Johnson's going to deploy him in the offense, but just a good special teamer. Next up, do
No,
you want to speak on him?
I was just I think this same man, he's gonna be one of those guys super solid in that. I do think they'll use him in the offense as well. The dude's lightning across the middle of the field, and he can move in the open field. So that sounds like a Ben Johnson receiver that we'd like to see.
Yeah, huh? Running a 100-mile-an-hour crosser
Hmm.
to the house for a house call. Next up, we got a young kid, another kind of little fan favorite, JP Richardson. Scrappy young special teamers. Just happens to just be sitting in the wide receiver room. Not sure he'll ever see the field as a wide receiver, but you never know. Again, I hate putting ceilings on guys, but I haven't seen enough sample size of him playing wide receiver to say, oh yeah, no, he needs to see the field more. Just a good special teamers, good tackler. He's out there giving his all, and he make the 53 roster, so that's good to speak on.
Yeah.
Anything about JP? Wedge?
Nah. Next guy and the final piece of this roster.
Yeah.
All
What a good
day.
all day Jade. What
Mhm.
a fascinating find for Ryan Poles. Undrafted guy. An excellent story. Just a really good feel-good story. He had no place to really stay. Caleb Williams lets him stay at his place. And because of that, there was a little trade-off. Caleb's like, well, if you're going to live with me, then you're going to run routes for me so I could throw these balls that Ben Johnson needs me to throw. And this is probably where Jade gets just a chemistry. There's a chemistry level happening with Caleb because he would stay after practice. And the one story, Jade had said he had called him randomly, like, hey, where you at? Oh, I'm out and about. Hey, will you meet me at Halas so we can run some routes and work on things? Yeah, I'll be right there. Boom. Like,
Done.
yeah. And so when we saw him get playing time in crucial moments,
Mhm.
not just one, it was multiple times, whether it was for first downs or those 2 touchdowns that he caught. Because how many did he end up with? Yeah, the 2.
2, yeah.
Like, there it is. All the work that he had done with Caleb and making sure his head was locked in the game and it locked in his playbook comes up big, comes up huge. Caleb counted on him. He caught the ball beautiful. Jade Walker. Look for a big where I think Jade will find himself in this offense will be where Luther Burden was in this offense last year.
Mm.
That's going to be Jade's spot. And we are going to see him, and he may end up with 400 or 500 yards receiving this season. Just going to be a great role player. Maybe get him in on special teams a little bit. And yeah, good for Jade.
Yeah, I like Jade as well, man. You see him on like TikTok and his workouts and stuff. The dude works out in his Bears helmet, the whole 9.
Yeah.
He seems like he's a good kid, man. Great in the locker room, always upbeat, always smiling. And I'm glad that this kid saw some success last year. I do think he could be a contributor as well. He's got the size. He's a big kid,
Yeah.
6'3". So, yeah, this is one of those undrafted guys that Ryan Poles has found, and it seems like he's carving out a little bit of a niche at the end of drafts and these undrafted guys. Tyson Bagent being another one, right? That he's finding contributors that way. And that's how you fill out a roster, right?
Mhm.
The back end of the roster with these guys that can fight and make a team and everything else, man. I can't wait to see what the kid can do this year. I'm looking forward to seeing him on the field some more, play special teams. Kid plays his butt off, so he's going to get what he deserves here, I think.
Absolutely. And so with that, how you feeling about the wide receiver room?
I feel good about it. again, this is one of those where I wouldn't be shocked if they sign somebody or um, they bring in another undrafted guy or they, you know, find somebody and I don't think they'll necessarily trade for somebody, but the draft could be it could be one of those shockers again where we draft one in the first round.
Yeah.
Nothing would surprise me, but the room that we have right now, I think is serviceable. Maybe lacks a little bit of depth is where I would be kind of scared at this point.
Yeah. And you never know too. I mean, the way that it happened for us with Luther Burden. I mean,
Yeah,
a first round graded talent that dropped to the second round, and the Bears were like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's do it."
we'll take them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and this is pretty true here, Paul. Unfortunately, this is a true statement. Poles is better at finding UDFAs than third and fourth round picks. Unfortunately,
yeah, that has to change this year, man, or else
it does.
it could be a long year. So
It really does. But my God, we put in overtime today.
yeah, we
I don't
did.
know if the boss is going to
Let's
pay
get
us for
going.
this, but yeah, what a good breakdown of the offense, and there it is. That's our roster in a nutshell. We broke them all down for you guys. Before we head out of here, we want to thank you guys so much for showing up. We really appreciate you guys spending time with us and hanging out and chatting in the chat. Before you guys leave, if you're new to the channel, don't forget all of our socials are down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here and click the bell so you get notifications every time we go live. But again, we appreciate you. You guys be good, be safe, and we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah, buddy. Can't wait. If you're out there, Mom, glad everything is okay. Welcome back home. So, yeah, the
Oh,
Mama
all right.
Wedge is on the mend and
And she's
ready
back at
to
home.
go. Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
So,
Nice.
real quick, see if we can, see if it'll let me play this real quick. But okay,
Yeah.
that is Mama Wedge right there. So, and if you know, you know. So,
If you know, you know.
with that being said, guys, have a great Sunday. We will see you on Wednesday. Until then, bear now.
The Bears.
Peace.
The Bears.